if you've been paying attention and checking out the Sinead O'Connor songs that I've been dropping this week, then you know that there's two more coming, right? Today and then tomorrow. So um, it was tough, trying to whittle it down to five. Um, Way more great stuff from this amazing artist. Um, I hope she's resting in peace because she had a hell of a life. A lot of great things from her. Um, but because she was someone who was not going to compromise and sell herself out and the whole thing, she had a pretty it was a rocky career, with the press, even with fans, fans who would abandon her. But she had to move forward. She had to carry on. And again, sort of drum to her own beat, as I've said before on the other episodes. And so down to two, and I mean, I'm not playing around. Um, this song I absolutely adore. I think this is a masterpiece. This is one of my favorite songs of all time. John, I Love You. Um, and doing this song right today and doing some homework, I actually was surprised about something. And I'll tell you about that on the other side.
John, I love you. I'm ever so fond of you. Will you wait for me till I am heavenly? Oh, there's much more to do. But I love you. Oh, you're tender. Your name's a whisper. I let tears fall like rain, apple size they were, and through all of those times when you could have died, this is what you find. There's life outside your mother's garden. There's life beyond your wildest dreams. There hasn't been any explosion. We're not spinning like Dorothy. If you look now, then you'll see why. Don't be afraid to cry. This time, don't let yourself fly. Child, pick up those dancing shoes. Kick off those wedding blues. These are the ways you can choose. Child, you're tender. Your name's a whisper.
John, I love you. I'm ever so fond of you. Will you wait for me till I am heavenly? Oh, there's much work to do, but I love you. Oh, you're tender, your name's a whisper. So I think that's Sinead. If we're going with this, that's it's the piano teacher, and that's the John that we're talking about. John, the name John, a whisper, John, John. Uh, and she, her voice just doesn't ramp up as in like, where that sort of typical Sinead where she's almost like yelling, screaming in this beautiful controlled vocal sort of performance. Um, she's not, but she goes high. She like totally shoots up, but it's still like there's a softness to it. There's still tenderness, with that, even though she's now high. And I love that. I let tears fall like rain. The melody on that too is beautiful. I let tears fall like rain, apple sized. They were all over her. And through all of those times when you could have died, this is what you find. And I looked over his lyrics. I mean, since kind of learning that it might be about this guy, John Stokes, and look at the lyrics like, well, who's talking? Because it seems like Sinead is talking in the beginning. John, I love you. I'm ever so fond of you. Will you wait for me? Um, and I let tears fall like rain, apple sized, right? So she's crying. You know, he's um he's not reciprocating, right? He doesn't love her like she loves him. So she's crying apple sized, right? Think about like a teenager. I don't know how old she was when she was taking lessons, but let's say she was a teenager, she was young. Um, you're going to dramatize. You're going to probably make things bigger than what they really are. So she's crying, and when you could have died, this is what you find, right? Like I could have died, you know. And now that might be now John singing to her, because then that might be John saying, "There's life outside your mother's garden. There's life beyond your wildest dreams. There hasn't been any explosion. Okay, we're not spinning like Dorothy." I love that line, that lyric. If you look now, then you'll see why. Don't be afraid to cry. So this might be him saying, "Hey, this is not the end of the world." Okay. Um, there's gonna be plenty of sort of, fish in the sea out there. Plenty of people to love, right? To hang your hat on, to wake up to, and the whole thing. This is not the end of the world. Um, if you look now, then you'll see why. Don't be afraid to cry. This time, don't let yourself fly, child. Right, and that's in the lyric, child. So that's, I think, that's him to her, and that's why I think that they're right when they're saying it's not about John Reynolds, but it might be this piano teacher. This time, don't let yourself fly, child. Pick up those dancing shoes. Kick off those wedding blues. These are the ways you can choose. And then he's saying to her, child, you're tender, your name's a whisper, right? And, in that quote, she said that they were really good friends. So I think that there was definitely a strong bond, and he cared about her, but not in the way that she felt about him. Um, and then again, there's life outside your mother's garden, and in between, there's this beautiful music, almost like a harpsichord, like it's an electric piano, but it almost sounds like a harpsichord. I love that. You also have a cello that comes in there. And talking about John Reynolds, my understanding is that right, so he's a drummer. He was a drummer. Is he still around? Um, and he's playing on this track. He's drumming on this track, which is really cool. His drum beat is actually really interesting. So then it goes again. There's life outside your mother's garden. We're not spinning like Dorothy. Um, Kick off those wedding shoes. These are the ways you can choose. Child, I love you. I'm ever so fond of you. So this again might be John saying to her, like, I love you, but again, in a different way. Uh, I just musically, it is gorgeous. It's sad. It's beautiful. It's heart wrenching. Her vocals, she puts so much emotion, uh, into the lyrics. She's raw. The rawness and the honesty. What she's singing about. It comes through in her vocals. I think it's one of her best songs. I mean, it's right up there. It's right up there. Top five. Uh, yeah. So with that said, um, let me know what you think about this song. I know that now as we get to song four, and there's one more left, and there's a lot more of the songs, like where's Mandika, and where's Jackie, and uh, no one compares to you, and like that. So I don't know. I'm not going to give it away, but all I'll say is that there's if you've been paying attention to this channel, we kind of go against the grain. We sort of go in the land of obscure. And I don't do that on purpose. I just gravitate to that. It's not like I had, No One Compares to You and Mandika, which is a great song. I love that song. Jackie and there's so many. But, I sat down, I really reflected. These are the songs that are truly the ones that I go to over and over and over. Um, so one more song left. What do you think that's going to be? It's probably going to be another one against the grain. Uh, yeah. So stay tuned. See everyone tomorrow.